Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Fight the spread and take a stand against coronavirus. Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdheck.gov/COVID-19.
Good Friday afternoon. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. As you heard, it's brought to you by SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, also Palmetto Media Connections, and The Comet. Coping with COVID is also brought to you by Javis Tax Services, celebrating 20 years of providing excellent services to South Carolina, including the Midlands and the Upstate. Contact them for bookkeeping, a CPA, health insurance, also other insurance, notary, financial planning, and more. Javis Tax Services. Well, it's Faith Friday, time to get motivated, inspired, and encouraged. And today's story will help you realize your dreams. I mean, if you really have a big dream, that it can come true when you continue to believe. I spoke to Ridgeway, South Carolina designer Sergio Hudson, who has designed for everyone from Michelle Obama to Kamala Harris, J-Lo, Tracy Ellis Ross, Beyonce, Queen Latifah, and more. His story of faith and perseverance coming up next on Coping with COVID. But first, your COVID community updates. CVS will receive the new one-shot J&J vaccine. The pharmacy expects shipment tomorrow, allowing them to open an additional 59 vaccine locations in South Carolina, bringing the total to 92. Now, if you would like to make an appointment, visit cvs.com/immunizations/COVID-19 vaccine. Check the screen for more information. Prisma Health is opening a new vaccine site in Sumter. Beginning March 15th, Sumter Civic Center will be the new location, providing enough space to vaccinate 500 people each day. And the Black Lives Matter Foundation is giving away $3 million in grants to African Americans need due to the pandemic. Now, grants in the amount of $1,000 each will be awarded to Black people, with special consideration to those who are transgender, single parents and guardians, and those formerly incarcerated. So far, 300 people have been approved. For more information and to apply, search the Black Lives Matter Survival Fund. You can see that information on the screen. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date listings of times, dates, and locations for COVID vaccination and testing in and around South Carolina. Visit scdheck.gov for more information. As a matter of fact, all of the information concerning testing, information, also vaccinations, locations, and financial information will be scrolling on the bottom of the screen throughout the show. Now, you can also go to gogettested.com. Now, there you can also schedule a test in several states and make an appointment and get your results in 48 hours or less. The DHEC Care Line is available. You can call that number for information on testing, transportation, and organizing a COVID screening. Now, speaking of transportation, if you are immobile, you or someone you know is immobile and unable to be transported, you can get an in-home COVID screening in Richland and Clarendon counties. Those paramedics are going inside the home. You can check the screen for more information about that. Now, several places that are offering COVID testing and also the vaccination. Lexington Medical Center. You can go to Lexington Medical Center and get your vaccine. Again, check the screen for more information about how to schedule your test. If you are a veteran, the VA is handling all veterans vaccines. Check the screen for more information. Kroger pharmacies and CVS pharmacies, both of those pharmacies are handling COVID vaccines. And of course, you may know that beginning Monday, anyone 55 and under, 16 and over with pre-existing conditions, that's 2.7 million more South Carolinians, are now eligible as of Monday for the COVID vaccine. Now, if you or someone you know is a senior citizen and having some challenges signing up to register for their vaccine, there is online vaccination registration help for seniors. See the information on the screen at Get Set Up. Now, the NAACP has a housing assistance program. They will help navigate you through their Navigator program through sources and resources for you to get help paying your rent or your housing if you're having some challenges because of that due to COVID. Also, the South Carolina Bar Association at SC Legal Services has a toll-free number and website for information if you need it for housing and mortgage help. The City of Columbia 6-month payment plan is still going on. If you're having a challenge paying your water bill, you could get 6 months to pay it. And actually, you could get up to 98% of your bill paid. Also, the Central Carolina Community Fund Scholarship is available for not only students, but for adults who may have a business, want to go back to school. Check out that website and see all of the amazing scholarship opportunities available. Now, if you're having some challenges online learning and working, Rashonda Pratt has an amazing YouTube channel that she utilizes just for that. So go to her YouTube channel and check out Rashonda Pratt. Don't forget to subscribe to her YouTube channel. Open enrollment is available through May 15th for the Affordable Care Act, ACA. Several ways that you can not only get signed up, but you can talk to someone to help you choose the right plan. Visit signupsc.org or call 888-998-4646. That information and those resources are free and available. Now, if you are looking for a job, Rapid Reliable is actually offering jobs. They've got several jobs available, not only in administrative positions, but also medical positions. You see the information there, rrtesting.com for more information. As a matter of fact, they are also doing COVID testing. It's Women's History Month, and the WNBA is offering an amazing Women of Color t-shirt. You check it out there and support them. Proceeds will benefit the National Council of Negro Women. And as I mentioned in the news segment, Black Lives Matter Foundation is offering $1,000 scholarships to African Americans. Parents, caregivers, transgender folks, and ex-offenders are being prioritized. If you need $1,000, you can apply for the Black Lives Matter Foundation Scholarship Fund. I'm Tre Tailor, and you're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. I want to say hi to Andre Barnes. He says, hey, Tre, awesome. You're pretty awesome yourself, Andre Barnes. I appreciate you so much for watching Coping with COVID. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we will be joined by Sergio Hudson in an interview that was pre-recorded. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you for watching Coping with COVID.
Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the city of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. I'm Tre Tailor. And listen, don't forget that Coping with COVID is streaming live on the Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. Would you go over there and hit like and follow? So not only you can watch Coping with COVID, but you're going to get all of your COVID-related updates. Also, we are streaming live on YouTube. Want to say hi to all of you YouTubers. Please, please, please hit the subscribe button so that you can get updates also. We also have a presence on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Don't forget to post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses, because this is really an amazing Faith Friday story. Because if you ever thought that you can't achieve your wildest dreams because ... I'm from here, or I did this, or I did that, Sergio Hudson is proof that you can. Born and raised in Ridgeway, South Carolina, now he is dressing everyone from Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Queen Latifah, Vice President Kamala Harris, former forever First Lady Michelle Obama. The list goes on and on. Sergio.
Hi, how are you?
Sergio, see, I've got my Sergio Hudson dress on.
Yes, that's going to be worth a lot of money one day.
Look,
I actually touched that dress. I don't make anything anymore.
That's right. That's a picture of us. When in the dress. I remember you said to me you hated red with black and white. You said, I don't want you to wear the red with black and white. I was like, okay.
It was just that, everybody was doing it. And,
yeah.
I'm just always against everything that everybody else does.
So let me ask you this. I'm wearing head wraps now. So would you choose this head wrap with this dress? I thought at first black, but then I thought maybe neutral because to let the dress pop. What do you think? What is your fashion?
I like black or neutral. So you did right.
Okay. And then the long earrings, because I know neck, long earrings. Maybe the earrings are too long, you think, or what?
No, it's good. It's giving a moment with the head wrap. I like it.
Okay. All right. All right. Sergio Hudson. So listen, tell us about your growing up. I mean, and you've done so many interviews now, just for people who don't know. Again, you grew up in Ridgeway, and your mom was a big influence on you, design-wise, fashion-wise, right?
Definitely. I grew up just, in a household that was very fashion-driven, to say the least. So my mother was very influential over me becoming a designer, and not just over me becoming a designer, but of me, the aesthetic that I have as a designer.
Right.
So it's when you look at my clothes, it's kind of like my mom at different eras in her life.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like when you see the younger looks, it's kind of like what my mom probably would have worn when she was younger. When you see the older looks, it's probably kind of like what she wears now. And, like my mom, she wore the same dress J-Lo wore to my fashion show. So it was like, whatever.
So what did the J-Lo dress look like?
It's a leopard print dress.
Was it this dress?
Yeah, that's kind of like signature my mom. Like that's what she wears all the time.
Okay.
A dress of that cut.
So this is the dress on the left. Now here's the thing about your mom. She's beautiful. She's got a great figure. So she could wear that dress.
Well, you know what's crazy? Like, she's gonna kill me, but my mom is a very old school, so she believes in if you don't have the figure, you can make the figure.
Right.
She believes in undergarments. So.
Right. Oh. And I know you believe in undergarments too,
do.
right? Yeah. So we're talking to Sergio Hudson. He is a fashion designer to the stars from right here in Ridgeway, South Carolina. Now, I met you when you were doing I guess was it Ebony Fashion Fair? I know it was a fashion show at the Township.
No. We were in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, at Angela's thing.
Yes, at Angie's thing. And you know what's crazy? Angie, I did that show because Miss Angie, my sister, was a model growing up.
Right, Angela Carr Patterson.
Yeah, and Miss Angie had a modeling agency way back in the day called Revelations, and my sister was one of her models. Okay. And Revelations was run by Angie and my mom's best friend, Karen Belton.
Yes.
Yeah, so they were business partners. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Karen is my mom's best friend. And so she's kind of like my aunt. And so they ran the agency together. My sister was one of the models, and I remember growing up being around those women. They would put on like all these great productions, like at the Culver Center. Yes. And I could specifically remember one production. They did the Phantom of the Opera, like in a fashion kind of way. Yeah. And it inspired, and it was at that was one of the pivotal moments for me that let me know, okay, this is the career that I want. Like, really? I was here for all the dramatics, all of the, it was everything to me. Oh God, it was a great time in my life, for real. Yeah. Like,
so you think that really shaped what you wanted to do, that kind of cemented, because you knew you wanted to do something artsy, right?
Yeah.
Was it just that
I knew at a very, very young age, probably about 5 years old, that I wanted to be a designer. Right. It was never another choice for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As long as I can remember, I remember, you know, just like being into fashion and watching CNN Style, like 6, 7 years old, watching CNN Style and like knowing about Gianni Versace and Azina Laya. Like, it was my life.
Yeah. So fast forward, and it's so funny. So fast forward to you went to college and studied design, right? And what are some of the things that you really picked up that cemented it even more in design school? Because did you sew before you went to design school?
No, I did not. I didn't sew a stitch. I never even tried to sew at a sewing machine until I went to design school. Right. And the crazy thing is my mom is an amazing tailor and sewer. But she wouldn't teach me how to sew. She was like, I'll pay for you to go to college, but I'm not going to teach you how to sew. Right. That's just something somebody else going to have to do. So I'm glad she didn't, because I went to school and got a formal education, and it was the best thing I ever could have done, because for the first probably 10, 15 years of my career, I made everything myself. Wow. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without that skill set. Right.
Just like this dress. So you said, well, let me tell you what I love about this dress. And you said to me, oh, you still got that dress? Of course I have the dress, Sergio. But it's because you use, I love the sleeves. I love the silhouette, and I love the silhouette. I can still get it.
Very Sergio Hudson.
Yeah, it's very Sergio Hudson.
I need to remake that for the new collection.
But you know what? It's the material. You used upholstery material for this. And that, to me, is what makes it stand out. The heaviness, it's different. It's raised. You know, the material is raised. So
you love a texture.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you that. So what made you think this dress I want to make in an upholstery fabric? What goes on in the mind of a designer like you who, do you visualize? Do you use all of your senses when you're designing?
Well, my process is, it's not a consistent process. Okay. It changes from time to time. Like for instance, I remember that fabric. I saw it in the store. I think it was like Hancock Fabrics or something. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh my God, I really love this fabric. Wouldn't it be amazing if I made like a dress out of it, a tailored dress? And I think I was with my mom, and she was like, "That's upholstery fabric." I was like, "Yeah, but it doesn't have to be."
Right. Oh my
So,
God.
so I bought like all of the fabric that they had. It was on like sale, and it became kind of like almost a signature fabric for me at that time. I made
Okay.
dresses for a few, Columbia glitterati at the time.
What did you call
But
them?
that was the first
Glitterati's?
one.
What did you call them?
The glitterati, the famous people in Columbia.
Right. But who wore it first?
Yes, I made that for you first.
You did. And I was so appreciative. That was such a great time. Like I said, that was such a great time. After school, you opened up fast forward to when you opened up your shop. And that's when we really kind of met. You opened up, we kind of, started working together a little bit. How did you figure out, okay, I'm going to open up this shop?
Well, it was very organic. Okay, just, rewind back when I got out of design school, I had all these offers to go to New York for internship, and it just didn't feel right. I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't know exactly how I was going to get where I needed to go, but I knew New York wasn't the move for me at the time. So I came home. And the crazy thing is that show that I did for Angie was one of the first things that I did after college.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so when I did that show and I met you, and then you introduced me to Karen,
right?
It kind of just like led to other things, and it's kind of just like I just kind of was going with the flow. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And
let me stop you here. Let me stop you here, Sergio, because these are some pictures of some designs you did for Karen. And of course, we're talking about Karen Alexander, Auntie Karen Foundation. And I saw you. I thought you were amazing. And Karen had just started the Legends concert series, and she needed a dress every year. And you did 6 dresses. How many dresses do you remember?
Something like that.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? That one, the one on the right, the black one was definitely one of my favorites.
The black look was definitely one of my favorites. I think close runner-up would be the white one.
The white, yeah. I don't have.
Yeah, but I mean, I liked a lot of them. It was fun.
Yeah. So you said that kind of helped you. There you are again with the design team, her hairdresser, and then Deborah Lloyd. And this was another Sergio Hudson dress with Karen Alexander. So you said that kind of opened up some doors because of just people seeing the dresses at such a high profile event?
Yeah, definitely. It opened up for me to get more clientele locally. So I decided to open up just like a workroom. It was very organic. And, we just opened up the workroom and started taking custom clients.
Wow.
I knew that wasn't where I was going to end, but I didn't know how I was going to get to where I am now. So I was just kind of like, figuring it out.
Trying to figure out. Yeah. So do you think that everything you did obviously led up to everything you ended up doing?
Definitely. It was a God-led journey.
Yeah.
I always knew who I wanted to be and where I wanted to be. But I just I let God lead the way. And, without getting too, spiritual.
No, you can get there. Go there. Because listen,
I was trying to figure out who I was, to be honest, at that time.
Yeah. And what does that mean, Sergio?
I was just trying to figure out how I was going to be the Sergio that I saw for myself as a child. So, sometimes when you are at home and you're around family and you get stuck in a cycle.
Yeah.
And it's like comfortable. So I was really comfortable there. And I think I knew that in order for me to really be who I wanted to be, I had to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Was it people just making you comfortable because it was home? It was familiar?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I had, you have people to fall back on. You have, it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
And to be anything of, to have a dream as big as I have,
Right.
It's not the easy road that's going to get you there.
We're talking to a designer, Sergio Hudson from Widgeway, South Carolina. He has designed stuff for everyone. We see a picture here of Michelle Obama with Sergio's signature belts, but he's done so many things. And we're continuing to talk to him on this Faith Friday because it has been a faith walk. And you talked a little bit about trying to figure out who you are. But do you think that your spiritual background, because your mom is a pastor, and then, something I just recently found out was that you were the worship leader at her church. Do you think your spiritual background really played into the journey and making those decisions?
Yeah, without going too deep, it was, I think without going into deep, my spiritual journey was tied to my mother and her church.
Right.
And once I began to seek for myself and begin to hear God for myself, is when I got released to really go chase my dreams.
Right.
I was tied to home, tied to the church, tied to, the belief of, the way I was raised, and I had to break away from that. And it wasn't until I broke away from that, and it's when, God really started opening doors for me, like in a real way.
Did you hear him through things you read? How does God communicate with you? Because it's different for everybody. I mean, I've had times in my life where I feel like I audibly heard him.
Oh, definitely. I'm a very, I don't like to use like those terms that everybody use, like empath and all of that, but I'm a very spiritual person. So I hear things, I see things, I know things. It's just something, it kind of comes through my bloodline, but I just know when it's the right time to make a move.
Yeah.
And it's always something I hear. It's just a conscious thing. It's like, okay, it's time to do this. It's time to do that. And when it was time for me to leave home, it said, it's time for you to leave here. Like literally. And I prepared to leave here.
Yeah. How do you, Sergio, and you said you had a big dream, and you had a big dream, and you've achieved a lot. And I'm sure that there's so many more things you want to achieve. Tell me, how do you step out on faith when you have a big dream like that? Because, a lot of people want to do some things that dream a bigger dream than they could even dream for themselves, as Oprah says. How do you do that when you don't live in New York or LA or something like that? Because I know sometimes people think I can't do it, just like I said in the opening, because I don't whatever. I don't live here. I don't have this. I don't whatever.
Well, you know what's crazy? So if you fast forward a couple of years, I began to dress celebrities when I was still living in Ridgeway. Mm-hmm. Like my first big break came when I was living in Ridgeway. I dressed Kendall Jenner for her 20th birthday party.
Oh, wow.
And that's what really got people in the industry started talking about me and knowing who I was.
How did that happen?
Well, it's crazy. I fast forward, I did Style to Rock, Style to Rock, came back home. I was home for like a year after Style to Rock. Didn't quite know what to do after that. So I got PR in LA. Just, crazy, like stuff just happens. Like one stylist pulled some clothes from me for one artist, didn't work out. He went to the showroom that he had pulled clothes from to return some other clothes, and he had my clothes in his hand. And the PR showroom saw my clothes, and they were like, "What is that?" And they asked him to see. So once they saw my clothes, they asked him, could they get my information? Long story short, they picked me up as a client pro bono. I didn't pay them anything. Wow. They just wanted my collection, and that's how I started dressing celebrities.
Wow.
So a few months after that, I got Kendall Jenner, and that was like the beginning of everything. 3 months later, I moved to LA.
Wow. Wow. That was a big fast forward. And I want to come back to that. But you were saying something before I interrupted you and asked you about the Kendall Jenner thing. You were talking about how you were able to dream this big dream. And do you remember what you were getting ready to say? I hate when people interrupt me because you probably don't remember.
No, I mean, because my mind is so all over the place.
Mine too. So listen, we're talking to Sergio Hudson, and he is originally from Ridgeway. Of course, he is the designer to the stars. Let's talk a little bit about Style of Rock. So I heard you say, well, I know that you really weren't interested in doing a reality show.
No, I wasn't interested at all in doing reality. Had been approached by other reality shows. Because before I did Style to Rock, I had started dressing Lisa Wu from the Housewives of Atlanta. So that was like my first celebrity encounter. And then I started getting like in the back rooms of entertainment, they started knowing who I was because of that. And then I started getting asked to do things. And I was like, no, I don't really think I want to go in that direction. I want to be a designer. I don't want to be a celebrity. But at the time when I agreed to do Style to Rock, it was another one of those moments when it was like, okay, this is the moment to do it.
Right.
I felt that it was right, and I did it.
And you won. You won.
It was a God thing, though, because I went for casting. They didn't pick me. They sent me home.
Right.
And then I went back because they didn't like who they had. Cast it. So they said no, God said yes.
Yes. Yes.
And I went back and, ended up winning the show.
Yeah, that was amazing. So what happened? Do you think that, because I didn't know the timeline. I thought that everything started after Style to Rock. But as you said, Lisa, I remember you doing a lot of stuff for Lisa Wu with Housewives.
Yeah, after Style to Rock, of course it was great. I won the show. I got the opportunity to, work with Rihanna. That didn't quite work out. So I was kind of back at home again and just doing my thing like I was before. And I knew after doing Style to Rock that it had to be a change. That's when I started the collection. And I was like, okay, I'm not really doing that much custom stuff anymore. I'm not going in that direction anymore. It's time to start putting out collections and starting to really be who I wanted to be, and not just doing something to get by.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. So I put out with the money I won from Style to Rock, I did 2 collections. And we did the collections, and then got picked up by the showroom. And I've kind of just been grinding it out and like going for it. Once after I moved to LA, it was like a complete total change. Like my whole life kind of became, making this thing happen.
Right. So tell us the process of how a designer gets chosen to dress a celebrity, because obviously you don't just go up and say, hey, I'm a designer, I want to dress you. And the act doesn't usually say, the celebrity, quote unquote, doesn't usually say, or I guess maybe now people do say, I want to wear Sergio Hudson.
Yeah, it happens now.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen in the beginning. Normally like you have to be in a PR showroom, and that's how I got started. That's one of the ways to get it done. So once the PR showroom, the stylists go to the showroom, they pull the clothes that they like, they take it to the celebrity, and they see if it works for them. Once the celebrity tries on the clothes, they like it, they wear it on the red carpet, your name gets out there, and then you start getting requests from stylists. And then once the stylists start requesting you, then the celebrities start knowing who you are, and then they start requesting their stylists to pull from you.
Right.
So it's kind of
it's relationships.
Yeah, it's very much relationships. And, with me moving to LA and not New York, it's how I got those relationships with those stylists, just working with them.
So LA is a better market to connect with stylists than
For
New
sure.
York?
If you see, my whole thing with going to LA was I didn't have the money to go to New York and just put out a collection,
Right.
which was always my vision and what I wanted to. I want to be, Ralph Lauren, Donna Karan.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my type of, jam. Like that's who I want to be. But I didn't have the money or the connections to do that. So I said I have the connections to go to Los Angeles and to dress the celebrities. Once I start dressing the celebrities, then the fashion world will take notice, and I can kind of come in through a back door.
Right.
It kind of worked out.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
way. But my brand was famous way before the fashion industry started taking notice.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking to Sergio Hudson, and he's been telling us how he went from a praise and worship leader in Ridgeway, South Carolina, to being one of the top designers in not only in LA and New York, in the world. Let's look at some pictures of some styles you did and talk a little bit about them. This was the Essence cover with Taraji. I love that daggone fringe leg, but not
that
only
is you all day.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I hear Beyonce has it on and Queen Latifah.
Yeah, it was one of the most popular looks from that collection. And the crazy thing is that suit actually, the suit that you showed Mrs. Obama, the plum suit, is that suit as well, just without the fringe.
Oh, okay. The suit on the right. The suit on the right. Yeah,
That's the same suit without the fringe.
Yeah.
So that suit was very popular.
Yeah, that was great suit. And then you mimic the fringe leg again on this jumpsuit on the right with Tracee Ellis Ross. I love that.
Yeah, well, that's
too.
the same collection.
Yeah,
so
okay.
So it was in the same place. I did a few fringe pieces in that collection.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pant and a bodysuit, actually.
Oh, it is. And then, of course, a pant and the bodysuit clinched with this, which, and again, ended up becoming your signature, the signature belt.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't intentional, but it just happened.
Yeah. So tell us about how just ended cinching, because you like a cinched waist too.
I do. I always have, that.
Yeah, you like a cinched waist. So how did it end up being the Sergio Hudson belt collection?
Well, this is what happened. So that collection came out, and I specifically the collection with the orange suit.
Yeah.
I found the buckle, and I was like, oh, I like this buckle, and I want to make some belts for the collection. It was just supposed to be for that collection. And when I put the collection out, everybody loved the belts. And the belts were like, they were just coming with the outfits. Like, if you bought the suit, you got the belt with the new buckle. Or if you bought the dress, you got the signature belt. So after that collection was over, people were still requesting the belts.
The belts.
And, so this one particular stylist, Carla Welsh, who's Tracee Ellis Ross stylist, she called me one day and she was like, I need every signature belt that you have in every color.
Wow.
And I was like, what belt are you talking about? I didn't know what you meant about signature
right.
belt.
I don't have a signature belt.
She said, the belt with the round buckle, that's your signature belt. And I was like, okay, that's my signature belt. So she kind of named the belt the signature belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And now you have a belt line.
Yes. So I have to put that belt in every collection from now on.
Wow. So every collection, do you make it a little bit different, or do you add a color?
Yeah, we do different. Like the one that Mrs. Obama wore to inauguration was from my fall 2020 collection. We did it with snakeskin.
Mm-hmm.
So the burgundy color snakeskin belt was from the fall 2020 collection. So we changed, the fabrication of the belt every season, but we keep the traditional black and brown. Right.
Do you, when people are calling you to do a look, or they ask you, let me see your collection, or do they ever say, can you make something specifically for a person based on, are you doing custom pieces?
I do custom pieces, but
It
I
costs.
mean,
Yeah.
it's a pretty penny at this point.
Do you mind my asking though, Sergio? What is a typical Sergio dress? Listen, what would my dress cost now? What would my Sergio? I mean, not say. I mean, you sold it, so I'm sure that would be a lot. But what
a whole lot. Look, no, but just that dress probably retail now probably be about $2,900.
Really?
Yeah.
And what about this jumpsuit with the? I love this so
I think
much.
the pants were like $16.95.
Mhm.
The bodysuit might have been like $4.95.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And celebrities, they're buying this, right? They're buying it. They're not renting
Some
it
of them.
or borrowing. Okay.
Some
Yeah.
of them, most of them borrow. Some of them buy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mrs. Obama buys her clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a few of them that buy. Queen Latifah buys her clothes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of them that buy their clothes. Beyonce buys her clothes. If they want to keep them, they buy them.
Yeah.
If they don't, they send stuff back. If they
they just want something for that day or
yeah, because
whatever.
I mean, it makes sense. They have to wear so many clothes, and they
So
can't
many
wear the same
clothes.
twice. So it makes sense that they borrow clothes.
Well, that's interesting. I think it's interesting that Beyonce keeps her clothes because I think she would be one, especially since she has a couple of lines. I would think she's got a gazillion clothes.
She does, but I'm close with her stylist. We're really good friends. We're actually birthday twins.
Oh.
Yeah. So she likes to have options. So
Right.
she doesn't want to have to send stuff back. And they do pull some pieces, but on a greater scale, she doesn't want the pressure to have to. Because when you pull clothes from people, like if you pull in a dress for me, I want to know where you're wearing it to. When are you going to wear it? When am I going to see you in it? And when are you going to send it? When are you going to send it back?
Right.
It's a business transaction. So
Yeah.
I'm letting you borrow these clothes, but it comes with stipulations.
Gotcha.
So some of the celebrities don't want those stipulations. They want to just be able to wear it whenever they want to wear it.
When they want to wear it, yeah.
Yeah. So you have, especially the old school people, they like to buy their clothes because back in the day there wasn't no such thing as pulling.
Right.
Shaka Khan wasn't pulling no clothes from nobody.
Right.
I mean, to this day, like I made a jumpsuit for Shaka Khan. She bought it. She was like, "This is my jumpsuit."
We're talking to designer Sergio Hudson. It's Faith Friday. I'm Tre Tailor. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Sergio's personal life. He's got two beautiful girls. We'll talk a little bit more about his relationship with his mom and talk more about where he sees his career going. And he'll give you some encouragement and motivation about how you can also fulfill your dreams, hopes, and wishes. I'm Tre Tailor. It's Faith Friday, and you're watching Coping with COVID. We'll be right back.
Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
This flu season arrives during the COVID-19 pandemic. Groups at risk for serious illness from COVID-19 and flu are similar, but complications from flu are much higher in young children. Everyone over 6 months of age should get a flu shot to help prevent more illnesses, hospitalizations, and deaths in South Carolina.
The flu is not just a cold. Each year, many South Carolinians are hospitalized from the flu and even die.
Getting the flu vaccine is the best protection against the flu for everyone in your family.
The flu vaccine is safe, effective, and does not cause the flu.
You can make a difference this flu season by protecting yourself from the flu.
It's important that I protect my baby.
It's important that we protect our families.
It's important that we protect our schools.
And our students.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important that we protect our state.
Talk to your healthcare provider, pharmacist, or health department about the flu vaccine today.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision-making, and goal-setting. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie.
You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. I'm Tre Tailor. Hey, don't forget to post and share this information out so we can get this message to the masses, because this is an amazing Faith Friday story about Sergio Hudson from Ridgeway, South Carolina, and now he is dressing everyone. You may have remembered this amazing suit on the left, inauguration. I mean, it was Kamala's and Joe's inauguration, but Michelle Obama... Michelle Obama
came to play.
She did the hair, the Sergio Hudson suit. How long did it take before she walked out that your phone started ringing?
You know what's crazy? And I told this story to pretty much every major press outlet in the world at this point, but I did not expect the reaction that we got.
Really?
One, because I had dressed her twice before.
Right.
And we got a lot of press and it was big moments, but I wasn't expecting like a career changing moment from this moment. You know, and it was crazy because we had, and I think another thing was we had made Mrs. Obama outfit like a month before inauguration. Mm-hmm. So it was like in the back of my mind, like I knew I had
forgot about it. Yeah.
But it was done. And I was focusing on the outfit we made for Vice President Harris for that evening.
Yeah.
So that's why I was even in DC to drop off the coat she wore that night. So I wasn't really thinking about what Michelle was wearing until I was leaving. Until I was leaving Washington, D.C., I was on a plane. My connector was in Philadelphia. Landed in Philadelphia, and got the text from her stylist, and she told me that Michelle was wearing my outfit, so be on the lookout. And I was like, okay, great. So I get off the plane. So you
didn't know she was going to wear it to inauguration?
Well, it's like you kind of know, but it's like they always have a backup option.
Yeah.
Like
she could have worn
go wrong, or she might be like, I don't really want to wear pants.
Gotcha.
So it's like, it's never like a confirmed thing until they actually have it on and they're walking out the door.
Right.
So, got off the plane, went into the lounge in Philadelphia to see it, and everybody was standing around, and we all were watching it at the same time. And when she walked out of the door, everybody like audibly gasped. Everybody was like, oh my God. Like, it was like, and I did too, because I was like, oh my God, she looks so good.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I forgot that I had made the outfit. Like, because that's how good she looked to me. I was like, it wasn't about my outfit. It was about how she looked and what she gave. And it was almost immediate.
Wow.
The girl next to me, she started Googling who made the outfit.
Really?
And yes, and she was like, I have to find out who made it. Like, I heard her, and she said his name is Sergio Hudson. And when I heard her say that, I walked out of the lounge. I was like, okay, I can't be here for this. So, because I was like, if she goes on my Instagram, she's gonna see a picture.
She's gonna see a picture of you, yeah.
So, and then almost immediately at that point, I still had the emails from my website coming to my phone. My phone started blowing up, like
Sergio.
blowing up, order, because the belt was on sale on my site. So it was like, okay, I immediately deleted the emails from my phone because it was too much coming to my phone. And the text messages started coming, the calls started coming. It was crazy. I just kind of cut my phone off because but I tell you what, in that room, in that lounge, I knew at that moment that things had changed.
Yeah.
Like I almost felt the shift.
You felt the shift. Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is different than anything we've ever done.
Oh man, Sergio.
And this is the moment. Like I knew this was the moment. Like it was so many times that I thought was the moment, and it wasn't. Like amazing opportunities that I've had, and you think this is the moment, that everybody's gonna take notice. And it was like the moment that I didn't think. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, she looks great, but nobody was gonna be paying her attention because it's not about her.
It's not about her.
But it was about her.
Sergio, I want to get so. How much has it? Because you said this was a game changer. This was the moment. So how has it changed?
It's completely different. Like life,
wow.
The business changed overnight. To be honest, we went from trying to figure out how we were going to put out a new collection financially to trying to figure out how we were going to put out a collection time-wise because it's too much going on. Like I don't have the time.
Right.
So it's like you go from one struggle to the other.
Yeah.
But it's like a different type of struggle because it's like it's during COVID, so you can't hire a bunch of people to help you.
Yeah.
You can't hire a bunch of interns to like pick up the slack. We had to move from a very small workroom to like I think our workroom now is like quadruple the size of what we had before.
Wow.
And it's just what we needed because we trying to fulfill orders. We're trying to do a new collection. The emails are coming in. Like pretty much every major retailer in the world is reaching out to us and they want to carry the collection. So
Sergio. Oh my God.
Yeah. It definitely is. So I'm just trying to
what a blessing.
Hold on at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. So they want to carry the collection. So it's not just they want the belt. They want everything that you have.
Yeah.
Not only retailers, but are more celebrities?
Definitely. I mean, the celebrity aspect, it's almost like I was just talking to my PR today, and he was like, it's almost like he feels like people are waiting to see what our next moment is going to be.
Yeah.
Because you have to follow up that moment with something amazing.
Yeah.
So we, turned down a lot of offers so far because we just want to make the right moment.
Yeah.
And I'm focusing on the business part of it because at the end of the day, I'm not doing this just for Sergio, just for my family and for me. There is a great disparity in the industry,
right,
as far as having a Black brand that is run, controlled, and a luxury label. That there is no Black brand that is on the level of Gucci or or Louis Vuitton or even Ralph Lauren. It's not. We don't have that because we have been confined to being urban designers, being, they see us as a monolithic people and we only do one or two things. So me being just a ready-to-wear American sportswear designer, it's not normal. So I feel like but my mission is to make it normal because once something becomes normal, it's not that big of a dream for, the next Black kid from South Carolina coming up to be a mainstream fashion designer. It's just not that weird. It's like, okay, Sergio did it, so
Yeah, that's good. I love that you are trying to blaze some trails for the next person. That's amazing. I want to ask you, what were some of the moments you thought were going to be the moment? Can you remember any of them?
Oh wow, so many. And not saying that though, I don't want to discount the moments.
Yeah, no. But this was this was a big shift.
Yeah, it was. Definitely thinking the first time I dressed Michelle Obama, I thought that was the moment. Like, okay, we dressed Michelle Obama. Like, it's over. Like, it's official. Like, we are the ones. Like, that's what you think. And dressing Beyonce for the first time, dressing Jennifer Lopez for the first time. You always think those moments are, the moments.
Right.
Even some collections I put out, I think, okay, this is a collection that's really going to take me there. And, sometimes it just doesn't. So I guess it's all in God's timing.
It is all in God's timing, Sergio. How do you remain patient and not just like you said, okay, I thought all these were the moment. How do you remain patient and faithful?
I think, to be honest with you, this year, I know this year has been tough for everyone.
Yeah.
But 2020, I thought was supposed to be my year. I claimed it going into the new year. We did our first fashion show at New York Fashion Week in February of 2020, right before COVID hit. And, we had an amazing response. The show was packed. It was standing room only. People got turned away from the door. Everyone that I wanted to be there came to the show. It was amazing.
That was your mom on the left, you and your mom hugging at Fashion Week. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a breakdown afterwards.
Yeah.
But so it was amazing. And we got a lot of attention from the retailers, like they wanted to pick up the collection. But when COVID hit, it was like, okay, we're not picking up anything.
Right.
So I pretty much lost everything at the beginning of 2020. All my hopes, all my dreams, a lifelong career, I felt like they were in the toilet.
Really?
So I was in a really bad place the first quarter of the year. And then, things started shifting when George Floyd happened.
Yeah.
And people started realizing, okay, we have to do something about this racial problem in the United States. And the fashion industry said, okay, we are going to lead the way. And they started doing things to make things more equal. And that's when it started to shift for me. Mm-hmm. They started saying, okay, who are the Black designers that are doing it now? Let's pay attention. Let's open doors for them. Let's not make it so hard for them to come in. And that's when things started to change, honestly.
Wow. What was the changes that happened? And were you conscious that, again, this is a shift? Yeah.
Well, definitely they started looking for Black designers. They started looking, okay, we have to, one of my friends, one of my friends, Aurora James, she came up with this 15% pledge. Because African Americans make up almost 15% of the population, stores should have at least 15% of their shelf space taken up by African Americans. And so she started this pledge and started getting stores to sign on to do the pledge. And it's kind of just become this huge thing, and everybody's jumped on board. The CFDA gave the HFR, Harlem Fashion Row, $1 million just to seed into Black designers.
Wow.
And I was one of those designers that got a portion of that money, and I needed that infusion of cash because I was dry. So, it was just like, they opened up and they said, okay, we have to do something, because it goes back to slavery, the wealth gap. And it's just harder for us. Fashion takes so much money to be a part of. It's every step of the way is another level of money that's needed. To be honest with you, I don't know how I made it this far without the money. It's like God always just comes up with it. And every level you get to, it's more. It was a time when, I need a couple $1,000 to it became, okay, we need about $20,000 till it came, we need like $100,000. Like it's so exuberant and such a big number. Like 10 years ago, $100,000 was like $1 million.
Right.
Now,
Now
$100,000 is like, okay, how are we gonna pay all the bills? So it's just it's a different world, and most African Americans cannot walk in this world because we just don't have the financing, and we don't have. And even Black people with money, they're not going to feed into fashion because it's not a sure thing. People with money, Black people with money, we're so cautious because, we ain't had money.
Right. We don't know how long we're going to have it.
we're gonna invest in a Chick-fil-A because we know that's gonna make money. We're not gonna invest in no designer because they might go out of business next year and our money gone.
Yeah.
So it's a hard business to be in as an African American.
Yeah.
So, them opening up these doors and helping us has been of great value for me.
That's great. Sergio Hudson joins us on Faith Friday. We're talking to him about his rise from Ridgeway, South Carolina, to dressing a little bit of everybody. I know one of your motivations are your beautiful babies. Those are young. That's a young picture of them. Yeah, but how are they motivating you to do what you need to do?
It's just creating a legacy. I want, what Fendi has. The daughters and granddaughters of the people who started Fendi are still employed by Fendi to this day. Right. They are wealthy to this day because of what they did originally for Fendi. So I want that for my daughters, for my grandchildren, for my family to go on forever through this brand. So I feel like that's what we're working towards. And my girls, I see them every day and they motivate me to do that.
Yeah. And are they interested in fashion?
I think they're interested. It's crazy because they're just now realizing what that does for them.
Right.
But it's normal to them because I've been when my career first started taking off, they were babies. I was just having, when I did South to Rock, my youngest, my ex was pregnant with my youngest daughter. So, she was a baby. She grew up in this thing.
Right.
So it's normal.
That's all she knows.
Yeah, I tell the story all the time. When we dressed Beyonce for the first time, my niece told my oldest daughter, she said, "Aren't you happy? You proud of your dad? He dressed Beyonce." And she was like, "He does that kind of stuff all the time. So what?"
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like they Hollywood children now. So it's like,
they're unfazed by it all, right?
Yeah, they like going to the restaurant. It was crazy. I took them to a restaurant with my friend, and they were like, it was a steak restaurant, and Chance was like, "I want a filet mignon, cooked medium rare." And he was like,
"And how old was she?"
Excuse me? She's 10 now. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Sergio Hudson is on Faith Friday, and Sergio, what would you say to people who, listen, and it's not just young people who are still trying to realize their dreams. Hell, I'm sitting here still trying to realize mine. You know what I mean? Like you, COVID hit, and things went crazy. I've got 2 babies of my own that I'm raising. So I think everyone, I don't think it has anything to do with age. I think there is a point in people's lives where they still want to do what their heart desires, what the big dream was. And somewhere life, their plans got derailed. What would you say? What has motivated you? How did you keep on keeping on?
Never giving up, and I know that's cliche, but sticking to your dream and knowing that you're going to make it and not letting doubt creep in, no matter what happens. It's so many times that I was disappointed, but I couldn't allow the disappointment to derail me from my goal. And I made a very crazy decision when I was young, but I feel like now it was a wise decision. I didn't have a backup option. I never had a backup option. This was the only thing I ever was able to do.
So this had to work.
Yeah, it had to work. So if you have a backup option, you'll take it. And that's what I tell people all the time. If you have one, you're gonna take it. When it gets hard, if you got a degree to be a doctor, and you go open a salon and the salon not working out, you're gonna be like, I'm going to work at a hospital because I need some money.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that option, you're gonna figure out how to make that salon work.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
I feel like you gotta, believe. And I know that's not like the generic thing that everybody says. They always say you have a backup option, have this will have that. But if you look at people who are successful in careers that are not easy to achieve in, they all have the same story. You know, I had to make it work.
Right. And I
like,
didn't give up.
I remember watching the interview that Eddie Murphy did, and he said the same thing. Like, he didn't have a backup option. He didn't have an education. Only thing he had was he was funny. It had to work.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to use what God gave you and believe in the talent and the gift and the knowledge or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Well, Sergio, you are doing just that. And I am just so honored and proud to know you. And I'm just overwhelmed by all you've accomplished, and that you have you just kept going and going and going. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate, like you said, just going, you know, just being sad or angry or mad or whatever, but even in that, knowing, I may feel this way, but I ain't giving up. I'm just feeling this way for a moment.
You gotta get up the next day and keep trying.
And keep trying.
I tell people all the time that ask me specifically, how do you make it in fashion? I say, you have to have the mindset. I tell people all the time, if I was to never achieve what I want to achieve in fashion, I would die trying. Yeah. And I would never give up, because it's all I know, it's all I am. And if you don't have that mindset, you will not make it in this business. It's just not. And I feel like any entertainment or, you know, hard business to get into, that's the road you have to take. It is what it is. And, you know, you have to keep people in your life that are going to push you.
Yeah.
And, you know, just doing this interview with you, I remember just you coming to my studio and giving me media training. And to this day, when I'm doing interviews, I always catch myself, because you told me, you were like, you was like, stop popping your lip and stop doing like rolling your eyes up in the top of your head when you're thinking about something. And I catch every time I do it, it's like I just kind of like have to like focus, because I do it every time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, you know, because I use it like I do so many interviews now, and it's crazy. My PR person, he was like, you know, you speak very well when you get on. I said, yeah, I had media training.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Well, Sergio, like I said, I'm honored and just so proud of you, so proud for you, and looking forward to the collection. Can you tell us which stores they're going to be in?
I can't tell you yet, because I don't know which one.
Okay.
You can't be in all of them. So
Right. Yeah. So you haven't chosen.
Somebody's going to be disappointed.
And somebody's not. Yeah. Well, we look forward to what you got going on. Please come back. You're welcome anytime to come and talk to us about what you've got coming up. And again, good luck to you. God bless you. And do you want to leave us with a prayer? We usually leave with a prayer. Do you want to make your mama proud and leave us with a prayer?
Oh, no.
I usually leave with a reading from Jesus Calling. So all right, that's Sergio Hudson. I'm Tre Tailor. And coming up, don't forget, next week on Coping with COVID, we've got some great things coming up. So don't forget to keep your eyes and ears open for that. Our Jesus Calling for March 5th. I'm going to read a little bit of it for you, as we usually do. Read from Jesus Calling, and I didn't have it open. It is make friends with the problems in your life. Though many things feel random and wrong, remember, Jesus says, I am sovereign over everything. I can fit everything into a pattern for good, but only to the extent that you trust me. Every problem can teach you something, transforming you little by little into the masterpiece. This was for you today. I created you to be. The very same problems can become a stumbling block over which you fall if you react with distrust and defiance. The choice is up to you. And you will have to choose many times each day whether to trust me, Jesus says, or defy me. The best way to befriend your problems is to thank me for them. This simple act opens your mind to the possibility of benefits flowing from your difficulties. You can even give persistent problems nicknames, helping you to approach them with familiarity rather than with dread. The next step is to introduce them to me, enabling me to embrace them in my loving presence. I will not necessarily remove your problems, but my wisdom is sufficient to bring good out of every one of them. That's your Jesus Calling for today, March 5th. That's a good one. That's your Jesus Calling for today, March 5th. I'm Tre Tailor, Sergio Hudson. Thank you again so much for joining us today on Coping with COVID.
Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.